Hello, and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy. I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. I do appreciate it. And this one, I'm going to be covering the Impact TV edition, which took place on the 22nd of July 2021. And it was an entertaining show. So, with that being said, jump right into it. The opening matchup was between Chris Bay and Rohit Raju. Now, these two were part of the very, very good Ultimate X match at Slammiversary this past week. Sorry, last week. My apologies, was on Saturday. It was a great, Ultimate X match, and to see kind of the fallout from that match is interesting, especially when it comes to these two. When it came to Chris Bay picking a side, whether it was with Josh Alexander, Peter Williams, or Trey Miguel, or Rohit Raju side, Chris Bay chose his own side, so that was kind of interesting to see. And in all seriousness, this was a very, very good opener and another fantastic advertisement for the X Division. Chris Bay, as of late, has been shown a bit more of character, a bit more of what he's all about in Impact, and he's been working, to be honest, because he's having a good time. Not to say Rohit Raju is not either, because Rohit Raju is one of my favourites to watch in Impact. I think he's so entertaining, and he's a very, very good wrestler in the ring. And in all seriousness, this was a very good opener, and again, shows what the X Division is all about. I thought Chris Bay was great. He won the match, and I think that was the right call with the Ultimate Finesse. But it was a good, fun matchup. Great back and forth action as well. But when it comes to the X Division, you can't expect no less. And you got that here. So definitely nothing wrong with that story. And I think this is a good start for Chris Bay because there's been a little bit of interaction between him and the Bullet Club lately. But that's going to be coming up in future Impact episodes. Because Jay White did make an appearance at Slammiversary after the main event. Because of the whole elite gathering and the Bullet Club, and interesting viewing there to say the least. So Bullet Club is starting to appear more in North America. They're appearing in AEW now a little bit more. They're appearing on Impact. Kind of, I love it, to be honest with you. And it just shows what happens when companies can work together. But coming back to Chris Bay versus Ray, it was a very good opener. Definite thumbs up for both men for producing a very good, fun matchup. So there we go. And the next matchup was a 6-person tag match. It was Brian Myers, Sam Beale, and Tenille Dashwood versus Jake Something, Matt Cardona, and Chelsea Green. Now, of course, this has been a continuation of a feud between Brian Myers and Matt Cardona for some time in Impact. And, of course, others are starting to get involved involved as well. Obviously, Tenille Dashwood has history with Matt Cardona. And, obviously, recently she helped Brian Myers in a situation. Of course, Chelsea Green decided to come back to Impact Wrestling to help out her fiancé Matt Cardona. A little bit of a spat spat definitely between Brian Myers and Matt Cardona. But recently, Jake Something has been helping out, and so is Sam Beale. Of course, Sam Beale is under the tutelage of Brian Myers. And one thing I really do like about Impact Wrestling is they do not mind wrestlers facing each other despite their gender. In most major wrestling companies, you don't really see that much interaction. You do see some of it, which is absolutely fine. But in Impact Wrestling, they basically just go at it. It doesn't matter who faces each other. And it's great to see that. And you saw that here because Chelsea Green did get the pin at the end of the matchup, and after hitting me really hard and prettier. But it wasn't until Dashwood, so there's nothing wrong with that. But in terms of 6-person tag matches, this was a lot of fun. And considering all 6 involved, not surprising. Matt Cardona and Brian Myers just click instantaneously, but then again, they train together at the very start of their career, so of course they know each other so well. And the feud is continuing. I like it. And it's good to see Chelsea Green doing a great job despite having a broken arm, but she has been medically cleared to wrestle. So nothing wrong with that either. So interesting times ahead for everybody involved now. Jake Something, get more of a charter show we can do, and I love it. Sam Beale is also such a great underling for Brian Myers. It's so entertaining to watch that. It's really funny as well. So it's great to see that continue. It's great to see Sam Beale get more of a chance in Impact. So thumbs up to everybody involved in this matchup. It was an enjoyable 6-person tag match, and not something you see very often in Impact Wrestling when the men face the women and vice versa, and get a chance to tag up to the same gender to fight in a match, shall we say, as you mean. Obviously, usually in these kind of mixed person tag matches, the women would have to face the women, the men would have to face the men. Not here, so can't follow that. Thumbs up. Wrestling for everybody in gender does not matter. That's my opinion. Okay. And then, which brought us to the next match, which was Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus FinJuice. Now, of course, FinJuice made their recent return to Impact Wrestling after returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling after they did lose the Impact World Tag Team titles. And it's great to see him back in all seriousness. I love FinJuice. I think they're so entertaining. Energy to spare, tag team wrestlers extraordinaire by this point. And again, a tag team that pays tribute to the past tag teams with the double team maneuvers, a Doomsday Device, and other things. But not to say that Ace Austin and Madman Fulton are really good too, because they're a tag team that complement each other very, very well. And they kind of did here too, but this night belonged to FinJuice, and I'm really glad they're back in Impact Wrestling because they're just so good to watch. And they're entertaining, they're fun, they're really, really good at what they do too. But so are the opponents. But overall, this was a fun tag match, and I enjoyed this one. So, thumbs up to all men involved in this one. Sorry, a bit sidetracked. Yeah. Which brings us to the main event. It was a rematch from Slammiversary, and this time the other way around. Fire and Flavor giving in a rematch clause contract after they lost the titles to Rosemary and Havoc Decay. Actually, I'm mistaken. The Rosemary and Havoc won the tag team titles on the pre-show to in Slammiversary. So Slammiversary pre-show rematch, and of course this time Fire and Flavor being the challengers. And yeah, these four women had a great match at Slammiversary pre-show, and this was probably my match of the night. To be fair, I thought they really have such good chemistry against each other. I will say personally, I think their matchup at Slammiversary had more urgency to it. But that's not to say this one didn't have a really good feel to it too. Obviously, Fire and Flavor being the challengers in this one were on the back foot because Rosemary and Havoc did a very, very good job here. They showed they could be good champions, and they have such good cohesion as well. Of course, they're strangers to each other in the Knockouts division. Of course, former both Knockout champions, but now Knockout Tag Team champions. And I think their feud's going to last. The reign's going to last quite a while. I think there's going to be very, very few tag teams that may not be able to challenge them. Of course, there are other knockout tag teams there. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens next in that. But I did enjoy this matchup for the main event. It was a good rematch. And even though Fire and Flavor lost, no bad thing. Because I think Rosemary and Havoc have got a good reign ahead of them. So thumbs up to all four ladies for producing a tongue-tie myself again. A solid, there we go, good main event to top off what was actually a very good episode of Impact and a good way to continue on from what happened at Slammiversary. Obviously, interesting developments happening and things are carrying on. So, all eyes point to next week. I think all eyes point to next week is a good way of saying it. As weird as it sounds, I think that's a way to say it. But all eyes on next week as well is probably a better way to say it. But I think I'll keep that one in as well. And on that note, I will end the review here. So thank you so much for watching. I will see everybody next time. But until that time, take care.